Oh wow, we had 3 episodes there of pretty decent TV, and I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 episodes. And the bit that I did enjoy is that they kept it within the world of John Wick that it said on the title. And so often these days, certain TV companies pluck characters from film or a book, completely change it, but keep the title. What I will say for the Continental is that they've kept the title of the building. They said it's within the world of John Wick. And my God, they kept to it whilst freeing it up for a brand new audience. So you didn't have to have seen the John Wick films and watched every interview with Keanu Reeves and with the director of the. You know what I'm getting at. So join me after the scroll for a spoiler-free chat about a very, very decent TV series. Bonjour. So yeah, episodes 2 and 3. I didn't do separate reviews for these last 2 episodes because I will be honest. When I done my episode 1 review, I didn't know how many episodes there were going to be, and if there's going to be 6 or 8 episodes of a show that you really enjoy, it does get a bit repetitive. I don't know for you, the viewer, but for me, the video. I don't know, I just made that word up. But for me to just, well, perhaps it's just me, like how I am, gushing about something every week, it gets a bit No, the word is repetitive, and I didn't want to like go on about the cinematography every week, which is superb. The stunt choreography, which is, you see what I mean? The soundtrack, which is right. That's what I didn't want to do. But luckily, it was 3 episodes. So this is episodes 2 and 3. Episode 2 is your midpoint, which can either be the best part of the show or it can be the fat belly of a show. Beginning, middle, end. 3 episodes. So what I will do is put my hand up and say that's probably the worst thing I've got to say about the series is that probably Act 2 / episode 2, it dragged a bit for me. And maybe, and I'm going to get this out of the way because other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So this might sound like I'm moaning, but I've got to balance it out. Just be prepared for episode 2 to just go on a bit and you think, oh, you know, you're hovering over that fast forward button. It seems like, in retrospect, a film script that has been elongated for, I don't know. And if the producers and all that have earned a load of dough from Amazon by dumping it on there for a 3 episode series rather than doing one film, fair play. Like, all respect to you, because it didn't spoil it. It didn't spoil it for me, but it just seemed like halfway through episode 2, it was like, oh, and then suddenly, the last bit of episode 2 and then into episode 3, the carnage. Episode 3 descends into carnage. Mel, as your big bad villain, all day long, is 100% on it. And a formidable villain. Not one of the villains that you know how they're going to get away with it in the end, including the twins. who he employs in the first episode. I think it's the first. Yeah, it was the first episode. The weird twins, where it takes like 2 or 3 of our main characters to even have a go at trying to take them down. Because obviously I'm making this non-spoilery, but you can imagine. I mean, all right. Spoiler warning. You know, the good guy. The good guy get Winston. You can imagine, because we know that Winston is in charge of the Continental in the films. So it's not like I can tell you that Winston dies at the end of the... because he doesn't. But in the meanwhile, formidable opponents, when it takes a lot to take them down, whether it's skill or brute force, but in this series, it required both. It needed Winston to team up with one of the most quirky and colourful bands of brothers that I've seen in a long, long while. The black brother and sister that is set in the 70s, so everyone was kung fu fighting. It's glorious how they don't. And the sniper, Winston's dad's one of his mates from Vietnam, or I think it might have been his brother's mate, I don't know. But who's the sniper, like the Southerner, the Southern American guy. And how quiet he is, the actor playing it. And in this series, I've got to admit, I didn't spot a bad performance. Not for me. Didn't spot a bad performance. It might be glorious writing and characterisation. And there was a nice twist in episode 3 that, in hindsight, you think to yourself, could I have seen that coming? But I don't know how I would have seen that coming. But yeah, the gang of characters like Yen, so Winston's brother Frankie, his wife, and how they kind of build her up to be so superb, and literally, like I say, everyone's kung fu fighting in episode 3, and it descends into mayhem, chaos and mayhem in the Continental. The grenades, bombs coming down the tubes. And this can't be spoilers, can it? Because this is what we expect from John Wick, and it does fit the John Wick when the twins go to town as a team up of assassins, and you've got the more bullets than is necessary. Not even double taps. There's triple taps, quadruple taps, and over it all, and amid it all, is Mel Gibson's McCormack character as the big bad. Delicious. I mean, you could, and again, like I'm trying to balance it out, you could accuse Mel of dialing this one in, but I don't think so. You could accuse him of this is nothing I haven't seen before. But oh my God, he delivers. And the fight choreography that leads up to, that kind of builds up and up and up throughout episode 3. So, just get through episode 2. I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever in the whole, pantheon of TV, but just get yourself through. After the initial rush of adrenaline of episode 1, episode 2 just kind of sags a bit. Not a lot. It's not a big sag. But again, and there is a snooker or slash pool for American fans. I don't know if you do snooker in America, do you? Anyway, it involves cues and triangles and snooker tables, and the fight choreography just added. Yeah, there was something about those fights at the end that were glorious, and the ending was so satisfying. And again, for balance, you could accuse it of being contrived, but I think I can't help thinking that's a lot of me nowadays, feeling like I don't know what it is about how TV and cinema has gone in the last few years, where you get to a point where, that's contrived. But no, just step back, lean back, and let it come at you. And it is so satisfying at the end. Because we kind of know the end, don't we? Because we know that, there is only one end, isn't there? So all they can do is wrap this storyline up within and these characters. But even right up to the end, honestly, trust me, even right up to the end, when you think it's the epilogue and you're just seeing all the characters drift off and say bye, and see you in the next series or see you in the next film. Even then, right at the end, the last scene on the steps of the Continental, unexpected, and like I say, thoroughly enjoyable. A lot of fun. By and large, I mean, that is the best part of 4.5 hours of Winston and co grabbing hold of the Continental. So yeah, like I say, still can't help feeling it may have been a film script to start with. But anyway, but nevertheless, thoroughly recommend it. And I will end it there because I like making these ones short and sweet, because without spoilers, it's difficult. I just want to encourage you, give it a go. And even if you don't like John Wick, give it a go. And until next time, until the next weird little review that I do just off piste from what I normally do, I'll bid you all adios.